Like call order the Belville Board Commission regular meeting Monday, October 25th, 6:30 p.m. of 2021. We stand for the invocation of pledge of allegiance. Let's quick heaven, Father, Lord, we ask you to watch over us and give wisdom, Lord, to make the right decision for the people of our kingdom. Lord, we ask you to heal all those that are sick, pandemic, COVID, such things. Give them gas is what precious thing. With allegiance to the flag of the States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. All right, everybody have a good weekend. Looking at the agenda, first thing we have to do, Mayor Pro Tem, all in favor? Aye. Okay, item 3, approve the agenda. Commission had an opportunity to look through the agenda. There's some changes or amendments to that. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is item 4, the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda considered routine to be enacted by one motion without discussion. Governed by the question, discussion of an item, the item will be removed from the consent agenda considered separate. If the commission have an opportunity to look through the consent agenda, there's no changes, including comments, let them make a decision. Consent agenda is back. Push that, sir. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Aye. Thank you. Okay, moving down to item 5 on the public comment. I don't see anybody signed up, and I know we'll actually speak. So, people feel free to come up and in our board meeting. Speak freely, and anything they may have. Okay, moving on down. And we have a guest with us tonight. The Deputy County Manager, Dave Strickland. He has oversight responsibility for the county's engineering, planning, parks, recreation, library, code administration, well, supervision over elections. He has a very extensive background and he's a well-educated man. I won't get into all that, but it's just outstanding. Pleasure having you here tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mayor and Commissioners, for having me. I wanted to take an opportunity to just put a face with a name, being the new Deputy County Manager for Brunswick County. I took it upon myself to reach out to all the municipalities, make that introduction, and just really provide a resource for you guys to come to. I know you guys all probably are very familiar with commissioners and other officials with the county, but wanted to give you just one more, make that connection with Athena and the staff from a municipal standpoint. My 11-year experience in local government management has been on the municipal side. I served as a town manager for 3 different municipalities in North Carolina over the last 11 years. Came over to the county side, and one thing that I want to do is to try to reconnect and better connect the county with its municipalities. I feel like having those strong relationships, having those connections makes everyone better and makes every entity and organization operate more effectively for the citizens. So really just wanted to take the opportunity to say, hey, introduce myself. If you have any questions or feedback for the county right now, I'd be glad to try to answer any of those for you guys. But really just had a pleasure meeting with Athena and the mayor prior to the meeting tonight and going over a lot of the great things that Belville has going on now and into the future. And really, really glad for all the foresight and vision that you guys have laid out in your plans. And I think you guys are going in a very, very positive direction. So the municipal manager side of me is very excited for what you guys are doing. And I'm very excited to be in Brunswick County and look forward to helping you guys out as much as I can. Any questions from anybody? All right, well, best of luck, guys, and thank you so much for your service.
Thank you for coming and introducing
Thank you
yourself.
so much.
Yeah, we want to thank you, and we look forward to the cooperation. You know, one thing I like to stress, we probably hear, you know, we've had a great working relationship with the county, and I can tell talking to you that will continue. And any way that we can help, we're always here too. Also, I'm sure that we will be talking to you a lot more. And look forward to that.
Absolutely. I am here.
Congratulations, and we wish you the best, and hope you decide to stay with us.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
good evening.
Thank you.
Before we move on, there's one portion I need. We had one of our residents here in the town that passed away. I think we had the ceremony yesterday or Sunday. So we just have a moment of silence for this lady. So we'll do that with Paul. Thank you all for that. I think it's kind of here. You raised his name, but I'm-
It was resident.
Ian.
Mhm.
Very nice family, very nice lady, and it's always tragic when we lose one of our loved ones, but we just want to recognize that. Thank you all for that. Okay, moving on, under item 7, on the presentation, we have Chief Lowell Pierce Moore here. If you come on up, sir. I'm going to introduce yourself for the simple reason that you have a guest here. We'd like to recognize all of them.
Okay.
One thing we're looking at is, you know, the indigenous people in this country before we got here, most of us anyway. And that says a lot. We don't have not recognized, especially in this portion of the United States, the way we should have. I have the chief here, some other representatives, which I hope you introduce to us. I'm looking forward to it. You know, you're always welcome in this town. I feel like you're already a part of it anyway. The floor is yours, sir.
All right. Y'all made us feel very welcome. We appreciate that. Again, I'm Chief Belville. Here's that's a little story behind it. I can tell y'all another time. A lot of the indigenous communities share stories, so it's not unique to me. I want to introduce, starting in the front row, we have Vance Williams.
Come on up, sir. We need you up here so we can see you better.
He
Thank you.
is one of the founders of the Photo House in Wilmington. He founded it.
Yes, I'm one of the founding members and the owner of Sakota House. It's a community center located at 1219 on Dawson Street. I live in Winterville, right down the street. We've been in existence, my organization's been in existence for 13 years. The Sakota House is a new development. This has been in effect probably about 2 years. It is a community hub where we teach vocational trade, solar panel installation. We also have an agricultural program called ROS, Restoring Agricultural Science. So that's pretty much what we do, and we support indigenous populations. I'm also from the Yamasee Creek Nation, located out of Effingham, Alabama, and I moved here 13 years ago.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. And I'm going to call Mia and Donna. Y'all can come on. This is my little sister. Right here.
Everybody, I am Celia Blue Feather, and some of you may know me. I've spoken quite a bit with Athena and Brenda and now even Sharon. So I'm getting to know quite a few people here. And thank you for the welcome, continuing going forward from Brunswick County. We're looking forward alongside Mr. Vance Williams from Dakota House, bringing some agriculture and training into Brunswick County and a few other programs. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you all quite a bit more and getting to know everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna is going to be our representative, attending the monthly meetings in our absence whenever we're not. Donna.
That part. I'm done.
Thank you for being here.
All right, and I'm going to call Spirit Warrior.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Spirit Warrior. This is my family, my tribal nation that I represent. This is my cousin here as well. I also represent an intertribal nation, 4,000 Indian tribes throughout the country. And I'm looking forward to being able to work with everyone here. And thank you for welcoming us.
Thank you. Thank you.
The last two I'm gonna call are my children, Nathan and Azaria. I have another son, but he's busy with the community with my grandbabies. So
Understand that.
this is, and my daughter, she doesn't like to talk a lot, so this is my daughter, Azaria. Say hi. And this is my son, Nathan.
I'm Nathan John Pierce. I've met some of you before. I'm a son of Eagle L, Chief Eagle L, council member. It's really great to be here, and I thank you guys for having us here.
No, it's our honor, and I think I speak for myself before, and I let her speak for herself. We want to build on what we started. I know COVID has stopped a lot of things from happening. But I think the cultural side of the indigenous people that we have in this area, the people in the whole area, they need to understand it. Nobody really knows about the historical side of the history of the indigenous people that were here and the tribes that were here. We did have one aspect, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I think we had an archaeological group, the NCW, come up, we were trying to establish some of that culture from some of the digs that we had, and hoping we'll find pieces from the indigenous tribes that were here. And I think they actually found some artifacts from them. But the best place to get it is from the ancestors of the indigenous people that have saved that culture. And through, educating people and having things in our park or festival or a heritage day of month that we can have, so we can have you here to show you culture and educate the people in this area on who you are, who the indigenous people that were here before anybody else, that actually were the true people of the Americas. We really appreciate you being here. We look forward to us getting together and putting something together to have that we can establish a day and a time, a period within the year that we can get you here and set up where, like I say, through our discussions, that we can show the people in our entire community, our Brunswick County and New Hanover, that we can get them over and get them down in our park system and show the people culture, the history of the indigenous people and of the tribe. We're looking forward to it. Any questions or the comment on the commission?
I want to thank you for the kids coming. We like to see it when kids are here coming, learning about how civic works, and we do like it when they speak a little bit more. Don't worry, my daughters have gotten up here and I said a word. Thank you guys for coming with your dad.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you could, Chief, can you tell us a little bit about the background of the tribal side?
Yes, I can. Our territory it stretches from Seabreeze, Carolina Beach, all the way to Old Swamp, Hallsboro, which is in the Cape Fear region. You find a lot of us in the swampy areas because of colonization. Those were, the swamps turned out to be places of refuge, places you can hide, places where you didn't have to worry about being hunted down. The history of Tuscarora in the state, there was a petition to Virginia to help exterminate all of us. So you find a lot of people in this day and age saying that they're Cherokee. Because it was a safe thing to say you're Cherokee at the time. Because the Cherokee fought against us. So they were actually friends of General Barnwell and the Mormon. So it was a safe thing to say you were Cherokee. Now, Tuscaroras historically took in people from everywhere. There's something called the Tuscarora Eye. You'll find people from light skin to dark skin with kind of funny colored eyes. Blue, green, hazel, just different lines. They call it Tuscarora Eye. Because we took in people, even during Sir Walter Raleigh, the colony of Roanoke, and so on. We've been taking people in from the beginning. Now, down here in Cape Fear, we are a indigenous dominant. We've had, the British Crown recognized that we had Middle Eastern mix, we had African mix, and we had some Polynesian and other things floating around in our DNA. It's what makes us who we are. They describe us as musty. Musty is a indigenous person with a little bit of something else in it. You know, because of this, we look at this as we embrace every aspect of who we are. I have a grandfather who's Irish, but I can't go to the club in Wilmington and join and claim Irish. Can't do that. But I do have Irish ancestry. That's ancestry because I have a grandfather who's Irish. Hallsboro is named after John Hall. That was my granddad. You know, so down here we have a sort of a difficult time with some of the other tribes who have fallen into colonial values and stereotypes. Because we don't look like Lakotas and Apaches and folks out there west of the Mississippi will question all the time, are you really? Yes, I am. All you guys got my grandfather in your DNA. What does that make me? Abraham Freeman was a very important person in North Carolina. He was a free person, and he was very important to the British. He lived with a lawyer, an esquire, in the 1700s. A very important person. He owned hundreds of acres, but then through his children ended up owning thousands of acres. These thousands of acres was purchased back because this was the acreage that was under Chief Wakusa, who you find in colonial records, who actually spoke with Hilton when he came here. So it traces back that far. Also, Abraham Freeman owned a very important piece of land, not just Carolina Beach, also in Bladen County. We have a cemetery there called Mitchellfield. Mitchellfield is actually a mound. We just had a professor here Saturday, and he helped confirm it because the family's been saying this for a long time. The college pays him to go around and connect the dots because his background is Tuscarora. We are more than Tuscarora, we're also Wokan. Wokan is where the word Waccamaw comes from. But we're contemporarily known as Cape Fear Indian. That was a consolidated name they gave us, and it became a legal name. That a treaty was actually formed up under the name Cape Fear Indian. And that name came about because we had so many villages, and each village is set up with a chief. And all those chiefs answer to a head chief. So all these strange names of these villages, it was just hard to keep up with everybody. So they just called us the river, Cape Fear. And that became a legal name. So After the war, there's two wars that pop up when you study the Carolinas, the Yamasee War and the Tuscarora War. So after the war, we became mixed everything. If you were brown enough, you become African American. If you was on the other end of the spectrum, which up in Bergen County, we have family up there now, and they're more fair complexion than we are, then you would go for white. If you were somewhere in the middle, it ain't. So that's the way it was. And, you know, it's not a necessity, I was surviving. That's what it is. Oh, you say you care. Today, we are pretty much bringing our family back home. We operate off of the treaties that we signed, which is people on. That's something that if you are a state recognized tribe, it's almost like a give and take. If you're federal or state, you have to give a little bit in order to get the recognition. So we've opted out. We don't want federal governments. We're operating. And we're trying to not set an example. We're just trying to be the best people that we can be. In the process of doing that, I think we are setting an example because we don't care how our family is. We don't care from the center perspective of that. If you can show us that you are related to us, for our family, then the door is open for you. Because of that, we have to office out back in 2019. 2020 was actually a great virtual. It was going to be something else with us combining with the members. But COVID hit. We haven't been able to get in as much as we want to. The COVID has hit us pretty hard. A little less here. We had quite a few people pass. Quite a few. And I'm so glad I'm ready. And it's been a whole time. My reading is still not the same. Which I found that out the other day. So 2021, we had our harvest gathering at October. And we wanted to introduce some different things. It turned out to be really, really good. We wanted to show the diversity of this area. You know, indigenous people always greeted everyone with open arms until those of these times. At least down here. The Chronicles of Cape Fear, I think it's Martin was talking about when they wrecked on the rocks and showed up. Someone was going to eat. That's what we thought. What we did is the guy who was struggling after we got drive him up, and then he went back to the ship and he talked about some stuff. Then when everybody came in, so what? So ships them home to Europe. So then when another ship came in, it wasn't a friendly group. So the initial greeting is always, you know, and what we want to do is we all have to live here in the same way. We all have to live on the same way. Go to the same grocery stores, go to the same place. So we all should be living together. But living. You know, I'm not naive enough to say everybody's gonna love each other. But it has to start somewhere. And Mary, you've shown that you're willing to be for that. I appreciate the opportunity to come here. I probably should speak a little bit too long. I really appreciate it. Our home was supposed to be at Riverwalk, but we got rained out. Next year, we're planning on a 2-day event. So we can have people that's coming in from out of town and they don't have to leave and come back to their, everybody. So homecoming and harvest gathering back to back and we hand over in Bucks County. What I was hoping to do was I appreciate having a picture with the proclamation. But I was hoping I could get a picture of commissioners and mayor, with, this to be a part of it, but that I don't know, I didn't bring, it, you know. We'll do it another time. So we'll make it happen. I definitely want to get a picture with all of y'all. And, yeah, okay. Do like, I was wanting to get more of our family. But everybody's always. But next year is when you'll be. But, that's pretty much all I have to say. We have our plans. Y'all have questions for me?
Next one is, read this, resolution that was actually passed in September. Everybody's clear. This resolution 21-25, President's Commemoration of People's Day. Whereas the town of Belville values the many contributions made to our community through indigenous peoples, knowledge, labor, science, philosophy, arts, culture, and technology. Whereas indigenous people already occupied land which they became known as the Americans. Whereas the town of Belville seeks to combat cultural prejudice, to eliminate racial discrimination, and promote awareness and understanding good relations among indigenous peoples, all other states of our community. Whereas the Belville Board of Commissioners recognizes the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples Day by adopting previous resolution consistent with the U.S. Declaration of Independence for all people, including those who descend from indigenous peoples and desire to uphold policies and practices that ensure equal access to opportunity, the rights to pursue life, liberty, and happiness in America. Whereas Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed in 1977 by a delegation of Native nations to the United Nations International Conference on discrimination against indigenous populations in the Americas. Now therefore be resolved that the Belville Board of Commissioners hereby declares the second Monday in October to be celebrated this year on October 11th, 2021 as Indigenous Peoples Day to celebrate and honor indigenous people, their shared history and culture. Be it further resolved that the town of Belville recognizes its responsibility to honor the nation's indigenous groups, history, traditions, and cultural contributions. The United States of America declares its 27th day of September 2021. Signed by everybody.
Thank you.
I look forward to our town in this area join in as a family to recognize the Indigenous Peoples Day, the history, the culture. The cultural side of the history will be an education that y'all will have to teach us, and we have to learn. I've studied, when I first met the chief here, I went back and started doing some research on the Indian tribes that were in this area. And the indigenous people went through some very rough times, through all the conflict that we had in America that we was growing between the British and the Americans and the United States in the Revolutionary War. It goes back a lot further, but now that we have a group like you here, we can get the education and let the people know here about the indigenous people who lived and was on this nation of the Americas well before we ever got here. And I'm looking forward to that time. Looking forward to our first reading festival that we can have here in our community. Look forward to working with y'all. Any comments from commissioners?
Anything we can do to sponsor financially, that's celebration. What we can do is get pushing.
Support y'all in that aspect of it. And looking forward, we want to make sure once we put it together, because we want to attract as many people as we can. I think education is so important. old saying I always go by, I've always heard since I can remember. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Now, some of that's good, but some of it was bad. We don't want to repeat the bad again. But we also want to know the roots of the original people that were here. And about their families, about their history, their culture. I think it's very important. So thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I really admire all of you. I look forward to learning, being educated myself. And remember this proclamation in our town, that day is for you. We'll honor that day. You're out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
We look forward to that. You're gonna have to explain to me too, when you talk about all the Billy tea and everything else.
Definitely.
We'll get on that later.
Yes, sir.
You know, through, like you said, I think part of the history we look at, you know, the Indian nations and tribes, most is because of what we see on TV. That, you know, we're educated about everything probably west of the Mississippi River. So we don't get much history about people east of the Mississippi River. And there was a lot of tribes in this area. And the process of learning, like that, I grew up in Robinson County, which is where the Columbia Indians are. Had a lot of friends up there. But still, we didn't know anything about them or about the other tribes. That's to myself and the chief met that I started digging in and wanted to do some research on the indigenous people that were here. Because it'd be a shame if your culture was lost. It should never be. And a group like y'all can bring that to life and educate the rest of them. We're looking forward to it.
Mayor, if I can add something to that,
Go ahead.
just in case you don't know, and if you Google it, you'll find out that North Carolina has the largest native population east of the Mississippi. And it's the 8th largest, it's the 8th state with the largest native population, North Carolina. So yeah, it's a lot here. And there's a lot of history in this area.
Well, I hope we can do that, and I hope through what we do here, we can set up on a cultural event here, that we can attract a lot of that talent and people through this area. Start educating people. And that goes to anybody in here, please, you can call our staff or me or our commissioner, we're always open to listen. Thank y'all for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for having me.
Any other comments from the commissioners? All right, we'll move on to the next item. Anyone come to sit?
Or consent agenda.
If not in,
Under the consent agenda.
we need to add that into it.
No, only consent agenda.
Yes, on the consent agenda, I just said, I thought we were going to present the resolution. That's right. Okay, moving on to item 8 on old business. Update on the Brunswick Riverwalk project, reflections on recent Brunswick Riverwalk Park events with Laura. Hopefully, if you'd like to come forward, ma'am, she is the chairman of our Parks and Rec board, and the floor is yours.
I'm gonna segue right into. So we recently just had our fall festival and then a movie night in the park. Both were exceptionally well received. We do know that with the fall festival, clearly we needed the sheriff's department out there. We were not expecting to have nearly as many people that came, so it was a huge success. So traffic control at all events is already set up for, I think, through Founder's Day next year. And I think we ran out of painting supplies, so next year we will have to get more painting supplies. The children's area was a huge success. So I would like to, personally, I would like to expand on that. We do need more volunteers. And probably more food vendors, because they already have food. So outside of that, I think it went very, very well. The movie event also was a huge success and very well received. People were so respectful, so clean, kept their distance, like it. So we need to like that. And then coming up next year for Christmas, I would like to have a festival going off of the parade into the movie night into the campus. So that's something,
I'd like to express, all the projects that's happened in the last few weeks have been exceptional. Like I said, the first event, I kind of called, called everybody off guard. Well, y'all, COVID has stopped a lot of people from every where people come in, so it's hard to decide sometimes exactly what you need, because you don't know how many people don't show up. And when you're expecting maybe 400, and you get over 2,000, hits you kind of hard.
yeah.
So, I mean, we were happy, vendors were exceptionally happy. But for the staff and administration, of course, you kind of get caught off guard a little bit. But we're happy that many people came. It shows how I think people want to get out, want to go to a place like we have to offer here in our town, the Riverwalk Park. And I look forward to that, and then our other events as well as movie night. Like we said, I think they're all a great success. I think I speak for the rest of the commissioners, we're very happy with the turnout on what's happening in our park system. We hope we can make that even bigger. As time goes on, we know we always got an issue with parking. We're lucky that we do have the school across the way, but coordination of getting people across safely on 133, the amount of traffic that's there is always an issue. And I found out. But it's well worth it. I was happy to see people be that happy, wanting to get out and enjoy our park system. But it also shows that our park system draws a lot of people. If you put something out there, people want to come see, they'll show up. That's one thing we want to keep doing in the park. We appreciate you and the board. Thank you very much for what y'all do.
Thank you.
Any comments from the commission?
Well, Jay and Keisha, you have something to talk about in regards to another ongoing project that we have.
How you doing, sir?
Hello, sir, commissioners, mayor. Jay Larson, I'm also on the Parks and Rec board for those who is out there. I think the additional bonus to the fall festival, I don't think we dipped into the town coffers. I think we stayed at an even number.
We made money.
Made money.
We made money.
Put money in the bank for you. I'm here as a long-term member of the Parks and Rec board. And I hope to just inform and persuade the sentiments of our body, both as a board, for the park, and for the recreation of our town's community. We, the board, advocate strongly for safekeeping and ideology in keeping our current tenants of the Eagle Island Rowing Club, while endorsing other rowing clubs. The Rowing Club of Eagle Island specifically has been instrumental in providing a safe and solid base of enthusiasm, sense of place for the community members, and many bystanders. Their championed efforts have created a sense of excitement for many other rowing clubs who are now taking a look at Belville, such as collegiate teams, local sailing teams, who also want to be involved. The club at its core has helped the town of Belville become a recognizable asset as a meaningful place for aquatic activity, as an environmental friendly and passive enjoyment. The club also successfully has helped the town of Belville to pursue and acquire a substantial grants, which help lift the financial burden employees, new floating dock space, and access. So it's come to our attention and concern, renewal of their lease may be in jeopardy. We hope this is a simple oversight, perhaps a delay given our new improvements at hand. We as a board, knowing that the rowing club's concerns, unanimously voted in support for continuance of the rowing club at our park. We hope as a board, we can help foster, we can find a way to meet both the towns and the goals of the rowing clubs to call this place their home.
I think, what we're talking about, the rowing club, I think they're a good asset. I think the issue that we get, it's not gonna be an issue where we keep them or not. Just the location may change a little. You got to remember, we require a lot more property from DOT. And I think what we're trying to do, which we can, I think, need to set down a discussion with the rowing club, and with our town manager and with the board. I don't think that's gonna be a problem on whether they stay or not. It may be an issue if they stay in the same location.
We understand that. We just wanted to put it on the.
But I think any asset, anything that enhances the park and draws public attention is always a good thing. And so I'm looking forward to us sitting down, and having a discussion on that issue again. I think we've had with the other projects going on, we've been kind of overwhelmed. You know, with COVID issues that's happened. We just haven't had time to sit down and really look at the project and sit down with their team again and have another discussion. We're looking forward to that, but I don't want them to get discouraged. Kick them out, that's not a true statement. So we'll look forward to sitting down with their team and the Park and Rec Board, and we'll get something with that.
That would be wonderful, Mayor. Thank you. The reason why I wanted to be here is just because of the vision of where it could go. And, you know, you all have heard talk of it and stuff, but the idea of having events on the river and encouraging, I have several friends that paddleboard and canoe and kayaks. And I say, oh yeah, you can come down to Belville, and they don't even think about coming to our park to launch. Because they don't see people currently on the river. So just that visual of someone having that traffic in a good way of people being on the river.
I hope when we get our new dock completed and everything in and finished,
Yeah.
with the access that we're gonna give kayakers and the other boaters, that's gonna be a major plus for us, and with all that new riverfront that we have, it's a matter of getting that developed. And we'll fit those pieces into our park system that fits the best.
Absolutely.
And so I look for a lot of good things to happen. Best thing to get back to the rowing club, there's not an issue right there. Just an issue of getting it where it needs to be. And so we'll work that out. We look forward to setting that with that. And when you come in.
Yeah, I was just saying about other activities outside of the rowing. Once we started. Seem kind of. I think that. Sort of hopefully working out spots. Said here. Shape design. Rode through briefly. So. Love that they're here and we get places to along the river. That's what I'm getting to. We're leaving town that Saturday for the day. Final setup is occurring. Sorry that we.
Thank you. And thank you so much. Anything that we can work you know, creatively, and like you said, that's why we look at short circuit. How valuable it is.
Do that, yeah. And, we're talking that out. Thank y'all for what y'all do. Everything happens so fast sometimes, we don't. Thank each of you for having out there. Keep growing, get bigger. But a lot of people. Right now, I think people, if we add on to, we're gonna attract more people for our citizens. And we say, our, if we kind of mention that in structure, so of course, I'm gonna have to support it, create maybe headaches for you. And I think we learned out, big event, we have 2,000 people show up in the event, think about 400. Thank you, thank you so much. Thank you for you looking, I think we'll do item 2 under 8, upcoming events. Presiding. Can you make some comments on that?
Gearing up for that, that's our next project, so we'll be, set up all Christmas lights, all the displays. I think we're still gonna do a drive-through like we did last year, and still have the festival on the first Saturday of December. With the movie.
One thing that what we're trying to do, call because we set up a light display for family trying to do our part. Be able to see the light when we go around the park. So, and we have to do that car wall. More than happy when it gets back where everybody can get out and have a big celebration and have the lights and the sound. The movie again. So, looking forward to that day. We think that's gonna happen this time of year. Get a chance to come down to see our Christmas lights, please come to our park. Without 3, update on the splash project kickoff for both guidelines. So that talk that first.
We're so excited about it. We are just waiting for movement. And I also commend the deputy manager. They have just recently reached the whole process of school process. It helps the town out so much.
Already got extra checks marked on that.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, sir. Like I say, if you go down in the park, you'll see where the construction portion of it has started. There's some fencing up. The project has started, but it's going to be completed by the 1st of December. We're looking forward to that. That's with one phase. We've got a lot more phases coming. I'm looking forward to it because it's a chance for our building, but it's a chance for people, kids, families to get out and do it. We have here at our family. Everybody comes out and watch progress happens and walk our trails. And watch the progression. We're going to keep our park full. Every weekend I live to see this full. I ain't going to get out talking. Thank everybody that's involved in our staff, our park director board. Thank you. All of it was happening. Okay, number 8.3B, update on streets and drainage repairs. If you know our town, we try to work repairing our streets, trying to keep an eye on issues, problems we have. Stormwater runoff, the amount of rain we have sometimes here. Always important, especially some people, because yard floods, you got 4 or 6 inches of water over there around your house. It creates major problems for the town because most of these issues are created by private property, not city, town, or state property. And issues happen because much public wants to sometimes, much they want to do it. Gets down to a lot of civil liabilities. You don't think people sue, you're wrong, they will. 11th, first time you damage something, first time something happens. So it creates a lot of headache. At the same time, you're trying to do the best thing you can do for your town people. Because nobody wants their homes flooded. And if there's something we can do, we have taken action. We'll continue to take that action. We have to take it very softly, legally. All the paperwork has to be signed, so it's kind of a long, drawn out issue to make sure that we cover all our bases, make sure that we've got a great town attorney. And that we can make these things happen at the same time, solve problems of our citizens in the town. And if they call us, my town manager, my staff, they get on it right away. Not one thing that doesn't go away. I walk out first when we have those issues myself, but I won't see. If I'm putting in the same position, I feel the same way they feel. If we can support them, we will. If not, we'll see avenues that we can take to help get them support, solve the problem. But staff, thank you for y'all getting on that such time and now. Okay, we'll move on down to C, update on coronavirus action. Madam Town Manager, I'll make comments on that.
Just wanted to update you, most of our staff members have received their booster shot. We continue to do our routine disinfection and encourage everyone to practice using their personal protective equipment. Also in the packet, you saw some proposals for broadband for the future boardwalk project. And also we are scheduling during downtime, during holidays, maybe on the Christmas break, to have our server replaced and to amp up on the cybersecurity locally. You know that there's been towns that have been attacked that way, and also even recently in Jacksonville, one of their local TV stations was actually attacked. So we have to go forward with that project and make sure that we're really starting the first week.
And I think a lot of things we're looking here, you know, as you grow and everything, I think even in our park system, town manager, she stays on top of this as well as our parks and recs manager. You know, security is always crucial. You have a lot of activities in a place like that. So, you know, we're in the process of revamping and looking at not only having Wi-Fi in the park, but having security cameras that record, and we can visually keep track of everything that goes on, because the more people we have, it's just a major safety issue that you have to have. We want to make sure if we open up, say late at night, we're lit, we have security there, we got somebody that monitors that, we can stay on top of it. So we're working toward that now. And I think again, the staff and everything's going on to make sure that happens. And of course, that'll be something the board has to vote on later, because it also involves having to buy equipment and things to make that happen. So, any other comments? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item 9, the regular agenda discussion on the 2022 Board of Commission regular meeting calendar. Town manager, you want to make comments on that?
Our town clerk has prepared the proposed dates for you for 2022. March, you're gonna see an extra date there, which would be the budget workshop. If this is acceptable, we ask that you approve it. And we will revisit it after you are sworn in again in December.
We don't have to make a final decision till the December meeting. Sure, we're gonna look at this closely and see if it meets y'all's dates and what's going on in your lives. I appreciate it. Hardly ever, we don't have all our commissions here. We do, we're short one. But you know, we have to put this around your schedule. Sometimes it's tough. When I was traveling in our business world, I'm one of the fortunate ones that don't have to schedule much. I pretty much wake up and decide what I'm gonna do here today. And so thank you, Commissioner. Go ahead and schedule, or we'll take the next month. If y'all see any issue with any dates, please mark them down if you don't have the agenda. And then under 9D, for the transportation update. There's not a whole lot I can put on that, and I said on the WMPO, because that basically, we're looking at steel, the bridge project going into Memorial Bridge is still an issue right now about how we're going to go about updating that. There's some things that we're not putting out in the public right now, but there's some things we're looking at, trying to regenerate the bridge crossing there, and what's going to happen. We're realizing the growth we're having. Like I say, they estimate right now 62,000 vehicles a day that go across the Midfield Memorial Bridge. Most of those vehicles are coming from over here. So there's going to have to be a change. It's an old bridge, it's over 50 years old. And the process is going to either we're going to have another bridge crossing that would either south of here or go to overhead span bridge crossing right next to the Cape Fear Bridge, which is what they really want to do. So hopefully, sometime after the first year, we're going to find out which direction that's going to go in. So I'm looking forward to that. Any updates, you can go on the WMPO website. You can look at those deals that are happening here. Like I say, we got 2 projects here in our town that we're working on right now. The project will start shortly. I'm putting multi-pass down to Rice Hope near our school system, down the Hawkwater. DOT has a project coming up to widen from our stoplight down toward the school. We're still having discussions on them about the multi-pass and tie all that together. So we're working on that. Process is going good. Madam Town Manager, you got some comments?
I just wanted to mention to you that Ms. Harrington is on the line, and she wants to give you anything about the experience that we have with the National Park Service.
Yes, if she's on there, please let her.
Adrian, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Adrian.
Wonderful. I'd like to thank you guys for the opportunity to do a quick presentation that is mostly pictures about a tour that we did yesterday of the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Trail. And I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I think I need permission to do a screen share. Let's see. Oh, it's still saying that it's disabled.
Gotcha, Adrian.
Let's see. Yep, this is still not working. It says I'm still viewing Athena's screen, so I think that needs to end first.
Okay. You have your presentation up, so if you want to go ahead, we'll just flip your slides for you.
Yes, Athena, you said that presentation was already up? I'm sorry, Athena, did you say yes?
Yes.
I'm gonna make you the co-host, Adrian, so that you can do it, okay?
Okay.
And then flip it back to me. Got it?
Okay, can you guys see my screen now? Or at least a screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so yesterday we had this great opportunity to take a tour of the Gullah Geechee Greenway Blueway Heritage Trail Project. And there were a lot of people involved on this tour. And this is a long list of participants that's on the second slide here. But some of the key players was the National Park Service. So the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Trail has received a grant for technical assistance to help develop the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor in Brunswick County. So it was great to have the National Park Service here. We had the executive director of the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor Commission, the Coastal Land Trust, the Cedar Hill West Bank Heritage Foundation. We had a representative from somebody that plans the North Carolina Rice Festival, the Eagles Island Central Park Task Force, several towns, UNCW, a bicycling foundation, and several other key people that are involved in this regional effort. So this tour that we went on yesterday, which was an absolutely gorgeous day, could not have been a better day for a tour. We got started at Phoenix Park in Navassa. And if you guys can see this map, that is number 1 on the map. And we went from there to Reeves Chapel Church Restoration Site in Navassa. And we did a drive-by of the Davis Creek boat launch, also in Navassa. And then we stopped again at the Bluffs Overlook in Navassa. And then we stopped and we were looking at the plans and the location for the proposed Sturgeon Park in Leland. And from there, we went to the Brunswick Riverwalk Park in Belville. And that's where, we had a lunch down by the water. And then from there, we went to Brunswick Town and Fort Anderson State Park, which is off of 133 in Brunswick County. And then our last stop was in Southport at the community building. So if you guys are looking at this map, you can see numbers 1 through 7 for all of the stops. And the green line that's on the map, that is the potential alignment for the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Trail as far as a multi-use path and bicycle and trail facilities. And then the blue line on the map is where the Blueway or a paddle corridor would be located. So one of the things that we had at each one of the stops was some signage saying coming soon, Gullah Geechee Greenway Blueway Heritage Trail. So we had those at all of the stops, and this is our first one in Phoenix Park in Navassa. And then our next stop was at the Reeves Chapel Church Restoration Site. This is an incredibly old building with some great history and great culture, and they have not just this project restoration coming up, but they have plans for some other great history and culture opportunities that would extend out behind that. They have a couple acres for that. And then we stopped at the Bluffs Overlook in Navassa, where this is the active rail line crossing the river. And this is where Barn Sutton, the town planner for Navassa, he gave us all, a great history and culture lesson with a lot of the activity that happened in this location hundreds of years ago. And then we stopped and we talked about the proposed Sturgeon Park in Leland. So this is, 2 people showing us the map of that proposed park and all of the amenities that should be coming through with that project. And then our next stop was at the Brunswick Riverwalk Park right there in Belville. And, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that was there. This is where we were able to sit down and have our lunch, which, of course, was absolutely gorgeous with the river in the background and the weather was beautiful. And, we appreciate everybody, you know, kind of sharing their stories about, you know, the progress that Belville has made and all the projects we have up and coming. So that's the group having lunch at the park. And then our next stop was at Brunswick Town in Fort Anderson State Park, the one off of 133. And then our last stop was at the Southport Community Building. And so those are all the stops that we took on this. There's definitely several places along the way, cemeteries and such that do have a lot of historical context. And, you know, when this project actually gets on the ground and we have those greenways and blueways, then there will be, you know, additional stops along the cultural heritage trail, not just the ones that are on the map. So, you know, one day we'll have this, you know, definitely developed further and have a lot more education and culture and history and great facilities and wonderful views that anybody will be able to enjoy. And another component that we talked about yesterday too was also creating a virtual learning opportunity around this, especially considering after, you know, so much time the pandemic and students being at a virtual school level. You know, we want to make sure that this educational opportunity is available for everybody all the time, whether you are able to, you know, take the tour in person or you need to do that from a computer. So that being said, does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much, Adrian, for doing that. I could have said it any better. So we've got some great things coming. And, I've already got an email from one of the national parks people that's there. They want to talk with us more here in the town. So thank you, Adrian.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I said we had a good chat.
Can you pass the host back to me, Adrian?
Fairly fast, but got to communicate to the key people in the National Park Service. Got to keep them this morning. They want to talk with us more. Hopefully we've made an impression on with our park system, which hopefully we can feel from their resources, their ability to give us a hand with that part we can. And thank you for coming.
Pass it back to me.
Closed session.
Didn't work.
County manager, if you could, I'd like to get a quick shot with you.
I don't know why it's not working.
Sounds good.
We'll get that. So, under item 10, closed session, general statute 143-318-11A3. Attorney consultation, could I have a motion that we go into closed session? All in favor? All opposed, ayes have it. Before we do that, we take about a 5 minute.
I got it. I hit reclaim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. I'm going out too long, I guess being able to sneak out for the I guess I'll sit here and make it official. We got one audience member.
That's right. A witness.
Yeah.
They're wanting to share the legal.
Have a motion to come back into open session. So, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Like, make any comment?
Just that, we had an update on two litigation matters, the USG lawsuit and the Belville, HTO legal action.
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the commissioners? One thing I'll say, I'd like to thank you all, commissioners, thank you, staff. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Appreciate it. I think we've got a good team now. Keep doing what we're doing. Keep it moving along. I think we're happy with the plan. We've got great potential, get ready to happen. We're at the right place, at the right time. So thank you. Nothing else, can I have a motion, anything from staff?
Just want to thank everyone, Director, Top Clerk, Finance Clerk, all my assistants, and part-time employees.
Yeah, please do. I need some votes. And all those need at least one vote. Make sure you're out on election day. I'll be out there all day. So poll. Just votes. Nothing. May I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?